My question is, do you have any personal experience or know anyone who has had personal experience with their own deep dive into AI on a personal and professional level?
So by deep dive, do you mean like really working with it for hours to see how powerful and how sometimes manipulative it can be? What do you mean by deep dive?
That's exactly what I mean. I've got a friend that has
Yeah.
really done professional work as well as personal exploration. And lately, there've been some things on the internet about people dating AI entities, actually asking them to marry them.
Correct.
I've been of the opinion that anybody who gets swept away like that must have a severe lack of intelligence. But within the last week, Haley Karania and the Silverlock staff addressed it with some personal experience. And the SGT report title of yesterday's podcast is Mount Doom AI and the Battle for Your Soul. I mean, there's a lot to this. And I've not heard anybody that I really stand with that has taken that deep dive personally and professionally. And I was wondering if you had.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say I've taken a deep dive negatively. I've spent hours on AI, and it could be very helpful as a research tool, as a synthesizer, and it could be very, very helpful to go through large documents. So sometimes people will send me like a 600-page document, and I can be like, hey, can you just give me 20 bullet points? Very helpful for that. It's helpful to be able to read things quicker and synthesize that data. It's not always 100% accurate. People have to know that. AI makes a fair amount of mistakes. I wouldn't say a lot of mistakes, but a fair amount of mistakes. With a few hiccups, though, AI is only going to get better. It's going to get 2 times as powerful every 8 months or so. It's not even 3 years since ChatGPT 3 came out. But you are correct, Gina. Let's just talk more about the personal implications here. People are already, quote unquote, dating their AI chatbots. They are spending hours and hours and hours talking to these AI chatbots, and they're only going to get better. They're going to get more, quote unquote, human. They're going to get even more manipulative. So there is a looming crisis happening with artificial intelligence, and we already have young men that are super isolated. There's a story from Psychology Today, the emerging problem of AI psychosis. AI may be fueling psychotic delusions in a phenomenon known as AI psychosis or ChatGPT psychosis. So you have a generation that is already hyper online. They're staring at their screens all day long. They're not dating. They're not getting married. And we are seeing birth rates plummet. Artificial intelligence is only going to make that worse. Now, AI is not all bad, though. I want to be very clear. I've said this story before on air. I'll say it again. One of our top leaders at Turning Point USA, who will remain nameless, his brother was feeling really weird. He had kind of like bruising over his chest. He called his local doctor and he said, hey, I don't feel really good. What should I do? The doctor said, oh, just sleep it off, take a Tylenol, maybe come see me next couple days. He took a picture of it and put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT, within a half of a second, responded with 3 red alert emojis saying, you need to get to the emergency room immediately. You have sepsis and you are going to die. Well, it turns out he had an ingrown nail because he was doing some work around his mom's house that hadn't been cleaned in a while. He had an undiagnosed and an unknown bacterial staph infection that grew into sepsis, got to the hospital, and barely saved his life. He credits ChatGPT and AI for saving his life, for diagnosing him within half of a second, where his primary care doctor was like, oh, just sleep it off. Now, that's only a second-hand story, but seems pretty legit. I know everyone involved. AI is incredibly powerful at pattern recognition. It's going to replace jobs where that is a key talent. Another one, for example, is anytime my son, who does his best job to try to hurt himself or to try to hurt others at any period of time, being a young boy, just walking around with, a golf club, anytime that he hits his head, Erica's like, hey, how serious is this? So we text the pediatrician, but interestingly, we'll take a picture of his bruise, of his rash, put it into ChatGPT, and within seconds, AI will be able to tell you, oh, not that serious. And so again, we don't want to trust it blindly. We double check that with the pediatrician. And the best way that I can say, there's so much other stuff I could talk about with artificial intelligence, right? Is that it will unleash productivity. We'll be able to make better movies. If you have an idea for a movie right now, in the next 2 years, you'll be able to make that movie literally in front of a computer screen. The glass half empty view is obviously will rob us our humanity, fuel psychotic delusions, and end our ability to socialize, marry, reproduce, including all the job losses. But there will be so much productivity that will probably mean that more diseases will be diagnosed and more lives will be saved. However, it is like nuclear power. You use it correctly, it can light up a city. Use it incorrectly, you can get Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.